2025 was a year unlike any other for entrepreneurs. Some soared to new heights, capturing opportunities no one saw coming. Others stumbled, paying dearly for mistakes that could have been avoided. But what can we truly learn from this year? Which strategies worked, which failed, and how can entrepreneurs like you and me take these lessons into 2026 to not just survive, but thrive? Before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the insights from this year could shape the way you run your business for the next decade. The biggest wins of 2025. One of the clearest takeaways from 2025 was the massive advantage for those who acted decisively. Entrepreneurs who spotted shifts early, particularly in AI, e-commerce, and fintech, captured unprecedented growth. Take AI-powered automation, for example. Startups that leveraged AI to streamline content creation, customer service, or logistics saw operational efficiencies that used to take entire departments, now handled by a few employees and intelligent systems. This wasn't just about cutting costs. It freed teams to focus on strategy and scaling. E-commerce also experienced a nuanced transformation. Micro niches exploded. Products targeting ultra-specific audiences, like sustainable skincare for Gen Z consumers or high-tech home fitness solutions, grew faster than generalized marketplaces. Those who identified these niches early and personalized experiences thrived, while those sticking to a broad, generic approach often lagged behind. Even in emerging markets, entrepreneurs captured gains by recognizing economic shifts. Southeast Asia, for instance, continued to see rapid growth in its middle class, with demand for digital services, online education, and affordable luxury exploding. Companies that invested in local insights, adapted products to cultural contexts, and moved quickly established themselves as leaders before the market fully matured. Harsh losses. While wins were significant, the year also exposed the stark reality of entrepreneurial risk. Many businesses discovered that a brilliant idea alone was not enough. Overexpansion, ignoring customer feedback, and lack of operational preparation led to substantial losses. For example, speculative investments in cryptocurrency and NFT platforms were particularly brutal. Startups that over-leveraged their resources, invested in high-risk ventures without contingency plans, or ignored regulatory changes faced sudden collapse. Entire teams were left scrambling as projects that once promised exponential growth suddenly became liabilities. Even in traditional industries, businesses that failed to anticipate inflation, rising interest rates, or supply chain disruptions faced severe consequences. A retail startup in Europe, for example, launched with significant overseas inventory, only to watch costs balloon due to shipping delays and currency fluctuations. Their failure wasn't the idea. It was the failure to plan for real-world variables. Resilience and adaptability. Resilience has always been a cornerstone of entrepreneurship, but 2025 proved it more vital than ever. Market conditions shifted daily. AI disruption, supply chain crises, and sudden regulatory changes tested even the most seasoned leaders. Resilience isn't just about enduring setbacks, it's about actively adapting. Companies that pivoted successfully didn't wait for failure to force change. They proactively analyzed trends, gathered customer feedback, and revised strategies in real time. Take an AI-driven education startup as an example. Midway through the year, government regulations restricted certain online learning tools, threatening its core revenue. Instead of panicking, leadership quickly diversified offerings to private institutions, implemented localized content, and even introduced hybrid online-offline models. Within months, the company not only recovered, but expanded its user base. Purpose and vision. Profit remains essential, but 2025 highlighted that purpose is what sustains businesses through uncertainty. Companies that embedded a meaningful mission into their operations not only attracted loyal customers, they retained top talent even when the market was unpredictable. For instance, green startups and sustainability-focused businesses thrived, not simply because of eco-trends, but because their purpose aligned with consumer values. Brands that communicated a genuine mission, like reducing waste or improving accessibility, outperformed competitors who focused solely on margins. Entrepreneurs learned that purpose isn't optional, it's a strategic differentiator. Purpose drives decision-making, shapes culture, and creates resilience when external conditions become hostile. Companies that lacked a clear purpose often struggled to retain teams or navigate crises because their internal motivation was fragile. Strategic risk-taking. Entrepreneurs who flourished in 2025 were willing to take risks, but they weren't reckless. The concept of asymmetrical risk-reward became a guiding principle. The potential upside far outweighed the downside, and losses were contained. Successful ventures combined market research, scenario planning, and contingency strategies. For example, a fintech startup investing in Southeast Asia's underbanked population calculated risk carefully. Minimal upfront capital, clear regulations compliance, and scalable pilot programs. The payoff was exponential when adoption exceeded projections. Customer-centric innovation. One of the most important lessons from 2025 was the power of putting the customer at the center of innovation. Companies that involved customers early in product development used feedback to iterate and treated them as co-creators achieved not just adoption, but loyalty. For example, in e-commerce and digital services, personalization and hyper-targeted experiences created long-term engagement. Companies that failed to listen, launching products without testing, ignoring complaints, or focusing purely on aesthetics, saw rapid churn. 2025 confirmed that customer-led development isn't optional. It's a survival strategy. Businesses that aligned with user needs and built experiences collaboratively outpaced competitors who relied solely on internal assumptions. Execution and operational efficiency. Ideas are worthless without execution. 2025 emphasized that operational mastery is often the difference between success and failure. Startups with excellent strategies but poor operational alignment failed to scale effectively. Efficiency alone isn't enough. Redundancy and resilience in processes became crucial. Companies that built fail-safes, diversified supply chains, and implemented rigorous financial oversight were able to pivot and recover quickly. Financial acumen. 2025 highlighted that many losses were preventable with better financial insight. Cash flow management isn't just arithmetic, it's storytelling. Tracking trends, predicting risks, and planning for contingencies are essential. Entrepreneurs who closely monitored revenue streams, costs, and seasonal variations avoided liquidity crises that crippled competitors. Those who ignored financial nuance often found themselves over-leveraged or unable to respond to opportunities because cash was tied up inefficiently. The lesson is simple. Financial intelligence is as critical as product innovation or marketing savvy. Without it, even the best ideas can fail. Continuous learning and self-awareness. Finally, 2025 reinforced that personal growth is inseparable from business growth. Leaders who embraced a growth mindset, sought feedback, and learned from failures moved faster and adapted better. This wasn't just theory. Companies that fostered cultures of learning, encouraging experimentation, analyzing failures, and iterating, saw renewed innovation and agility. Entrepreneurs who admitted what they didn't know and invested in learning consistently outperformed those who clung to outdated methods. Bringing it all together. 2025 was a year of extremes, massive wins, harsh losses, and lessons that will shape entrepreneurship for years to come. The key insights are clear: speed, adaptability, purpose, calculated risk, and customer focus define who thrives. Resilience, operational mastery, financial acumen, and continuous learning ensure you survive and scale. If there's one thing to remember, it's that entrepreneurship isn't just about building businesses, it's about evolving as a person. The path is unpredictable, but each challenge carries lessons that compound over time. If you found this deep dive valuable, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. More actionable insights, strategies, and stories from the world of entrepreneurship are coming, and applying even one of these lessons could transform your 2026 journey. Remember, wins are built on lessons, losses are disguised opportunities, and the right mindset turns both into growth.